All right, y'all, welcome to PTC Cast episode 19. Today, Chris and I dive into New Year's resolutions and how to set yours up so that they are sustainable and you don't fall flat on your face January 2nd.
You don't want to do that.
You can go to progressthuchange.com for your 4 easy habits for fat loss guide. You literally put in your name and your email. You can do it in probably 10 seconds, and it's going to set you up for losing your first 10, 15, 20, maybe even 100 pounds.
If you stick with it, I lost 175 pounds.
That's crazy to me, man. So anyways, y'all enjoy the episode.
We got some new mics, everybody. We got some headsets so we can actually hear ourselves.
And not just scream or whisper into the microphone.
This is the PTC Cast ASMR.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
So usually I don't really set New Year's resolutions, but thinking about it, one thing that I would really like to commit to is making small changes and actually, maintaining those changes because, as you know, I like to do big things.
Yeah, you like to overhaul everything and just
man.
Wipe it all out and start from scratch kind of thing.
Yeah, man, that's always been, very fun for me and very exhilarating, and it gives me life, or it gives me some kind of exact purpose.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, though, is, all of those things that I've done, usually I haven't been able to maintain it. Or if I do maintain it, there's been like a lot of struggle to actually get to the point where I can maintain it.
Yeah. And you think that's just too high of expectations of yourself to, maintain these ridiculous overhauls? Because I think it kind of circles back to, something like the 4 easy habits for fat loss guide that's based in small daily changes that add up over time. So you think it's one of those things where you're just kind of biting off more than you can chew?
Yeah. And when you can bite off more, or, when you can chew a lot in the beginning, like that's great. But what happens when you get full down the road and you're
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And you're just like, dang, I have to do this again for the third month straight, my life has been revolved around this one specific thing and nothing else matters, but I can't maintain this.
Right.
And, when you get to that point, it's either you ignore it and you try to live this fantasy life while you're breaking down internally, or you actually, face it and be like, okay, what I've done now is great. It's not realistic anymore.
Right.
Let me, try to pick and choose specific things that I can actually maintain, so that I don't lose all the progress that I've gained while doing this, because you don't want to do that, man.
Yeah. Well, to be successful in any endeavor, you have to start small and you have to do things that can add up over time and are actually maintainable and sustainable, because when you bite off more than you can chew, you bite it off, you chew it, you're full, and then you don't want to eat again, but if you're nibbling, if you're getting a little bit at a time, you're going to do it forever.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to, take on even more. You'll be able to actually add on to those things. But yeah, when you're doing too much, right out the get-go, you may be fine right out the get-go, but, what happens when, other parts of your life, need your attention?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to choose.
No,
and
100%.
When you've, created this person that, does all of this, all of these things, and you can't maintain it, well, you're going to have like an internal struggle with, well, hey, this is what I've been doing. Why can I not do this anymore?
And then you crash and relapse.
Yeah, you're just like, well, I'm a shitty person.
And then
I'm undisciplined.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. So it's like, instead of setting your New Year's resolution goal as, work out every single day of my life, eat nothing but chicken breast and rice, and run 10 miles a day, like, man, keep a food journal, take a walk, like, get 8 hours of sleep a night, like start small and let those things compound over time. Do you think do you think people want the instant gratifications so they think, oh, harder is better, so they dive in so hard? Do you think it's one of those things that maybe people don't understand the complexity, maybe people aren't interested in looking at the long term? Like, why do you think so many New Year's resolutions fail? And let's talk about fat loss specifically in the New Year's resolution realm.
So yeah, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, it's always cool to make something or a resolution that's grand.
Yeah,
or
it's
something
exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, it's the start of a new year. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and usually, like when it comes to fat loss, it's, well, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to, have a six-pack by
February 1st.
Like, ridiculous
Something
things
ridiculous,
when, hey, you don't even have the basics covered, like the food journaling. You're not knowledgeable at all when it comes to nutrition. Maybe you don't even have a gym membership.
Yeah.
You sit down at work and, when you get off, you watch TV. Like, you have to
take a real assessment.
Yeah. And, maybe you can start off by thinking about, the big goal, that's cool. But, start off thinking about, well, what's required now?
Yeah.
What would help me actually obtain that goal? And, for fat loss, it's definitely, a food journal, knowing your maintenance calories, maybe taking out one or two things that you shouldn't be eating, like a soda or your late night snack, something like that. Just very simple.
Yeah, you've heard me talk about my client and good friend Travis, who has been very successful in his weight loss journey.
Yes.
And it's been full of ups and downs, as everyone's is, man. But the guy has lost 120 pounds, and man, for the first month of his journey, the only diet adjustment we made was no French fries. Which sounds super small, but when you're in a scenario where you're eating French fries twice a day and you're having essentially like 800 to 1,000 calories of deep fried potato every day, all you had to do was pull that out. And I don't want to pull numbers out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure we kept it like that for his first 30 or 40 pounds. It was just no French fries for a while, and then it was no soda, and then it was no chips. It was very minimal steps that added up over time. It wasn't, all right, man, we're going to go 1,000 calories a day, or we're going to go Biggest Loser style, we're going to try to eat nothing but chicken breast and rice, and we're going to run 10 miles a day.
Imagine the impact that would have on your life to instantly change from, just a regular person to a freaking athlete, because that's what you're doing if you're trying to do something like that.
Yeah, and it's
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is it's man, everybody wants to do LeBron James workout routine, or they want to diet like Mr. Olympia diets. And it's man, no offense, but you're not training 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You have a life, and you have kids and responsibilities and a mortgage. You know what I mean? It's just not it's not feasible. So it's hey, if you were to, instead of tell yourself you want to work out 7 days a week, let's start with 3 at home. Maybe next week, 3 at home, 1 at the gym. Next week, 2 at home, 2 at the gym. You know what I mean? Baby steps, man. Baby steps is the key to sustainability.
Yeah, there's this old couple that I just saw when I came out of my apartments, and I told them, I was like, yeah, how are you doing? They're like, good. I'm about to go work out. I told them, and they said, well, shoot, I want to get back into that too.
Yeah.
And I told them, hey, start with a walk.
Yeah, 100%.
Walking, it's increasing your daily activity.
Yeah.
It's burning calories, and just that alone will, let's say your calorie consumption and the amount of calories that you're burning is the exact same.
You're at maintenance.
If you're
you're at perfect
you're at a maintenance. If you're taking a walk, just that one change will put you in a calorie deficit.
Yep.
So, if you're eating the same amount of food, but now you're taking that walk, you could ride that wave and lose,
burn some extra calories.
Lose some weight.
100%.
So,
yeah, 100%. And then you can even go into the argument of, maybe how it changes your hormones or your recovery, and then maybe you even get more fat loss out of that than you thought you would have, just because of how many changes it made outside of just strictly the numbers of calories burned versus calories consumed.
Yeah, it's like a snowball. A snowball. Think about it like a snowball rolling down, or a rock rolling down a snowy hill.
Sure.
You start off with the walks. You get more energy from the walks because you're moving around more. And maybe a week down the road you lose weight, and you're like, oh, okay, so these walks are actually working, let me take more. And then boom, you start losing more weight. Well, hey, let me actually look at my diet. Wow, I'm eating soda, I'm eating French fries, I'm eating pies. They don't even really taste all that good. Maybe I can just cut them down to once a week. Boom, it's a snowball. You're going to be losing more weight, you're going to be feeling so much better, and you're going to be so much more knowledgeable just from starting a walk.
Yep, that's it, man. And it's really a foundational tool as well, because it's going to change the way you feel, and it's going to change the way you approach your day. Man, I I cannot explain the difference I feel throughout the day if I started it with a walk versus if I skipped a walk. Man, like it is unbelievably different. Like the way things compound, like my willingness to go train, my mental clarity at work, how I feel throughout the day. Like it's huge, man. But yeah, to your point, like it's a snowball. Like suddenly, like if I walk, it's like, oh well, maybe I don't want to eat those extra French fries anyways because I'm already on already on an upward trend today. I'm already doing good, so I might as well keep it in check, you know. So to me, it's just it's one of those things that if you can start small, everything else is going to come after it. You just got to get the gears rolling. The snowball example was perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know how. I haven't really thought about this intensely and about how I want to do this New Year's resolution, but that's my New Year's resolution, to just commit to the small changes. What about you, man?
Man, I don't know if I have set one just yet. It definitely would be something with small changes. I just need to figure out what. Right now, I think the place I could improve the most would be just my general adherence to my calories and my macronutrients. Because usually I make it about 95% through the day, and then in the evening I'll get a little too comfortable.
Get a little beastie.
That has been kind of a winter thing that's been going on. But so you know what? I'll say it here. That's going to be where I start. I'm going to start being a little bit more intentful with sticking to my calories and macronutrients every day, which is essentially just a step away from food journaling.
So is that going to be food journaling, or is it no?
Journaling within MyFitnessPal, yeah, but I'm going to keep track of calories and macronutrients as well. Yeah, because usually when I use the phrase food journaling, or just keeping a food journal, I'm literally talking about writing down the things you eat with no numbers to it.
Oh, okay. So just being cognizant of what you're consuming.
Just conscious eating. Yeah, if I'm saying food journaling, I'm talking about conscious eating. If I'm saying calories and macronutrients, I'm talking about.
I always thought you meant like tracking.
No, man. No, like, I think a lot of people can make a lot of change just with conscious eating.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
That's when you start seeing those French fries and stuff, man.
yeah. Well, exactly, man. It's like, how the fuck can you scratch your head why you aren't losing weight if you had French fries 5 times last week, man?
Yeah.
Like, it's not and it's so funny to me too, because every time people are like, oh, I just had a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and it's like, yeah, man, but look at the food journal, and those little bits were like 10 different times. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that add up. But anyways, just to circle back, I think where I'm going to start is I'm actually going to bump my calories up a little bit to give myself some wiggle room to try to nail that adherence, and then I'll walk them down. So I'm starting big by giving myself more calories, but starting small as far as difficulty goes, and then tapering it down as we go.
So I know you have, your goal of the 315 for 20 reps on deadlift. Right. Is that going to be while you're in the calorie surplus?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not going to do any kind of crazy dieting this year or anything like that. Like, my biggest thing is just keeping my body fat in check while I do that, which has been fun because it's just been a training-centric goal. I just did 225 for 20 this past Tuesday, so I haven't really put a time frame on when I want to do 315 for 20, but I have a feeling it's going to be quite the journey. So yeah. I don't have any intent on hard dieting anytime soon. So I will be eating, but my big thing is not overeating, because at my heart I'm a fat kid, boy. I am dude. I am, at my core, like I have the same cravings as everybody else. I want that cookie just as bad. Like when I was a kid, man, I used to wake up, roll right out of my bed, turn on the computer, crank up some World of Warcraft, 12 hours, eating full bags of Cool Ranch Doritos.
That's so funny, just because I was never, and I'm still not that guy that would just crave shit, even when I gained the 220 pounds. Yeah. So it's just funny seeing someone like as lean and, in my head, as disciplined when it comes to food as you. Yeah. But you still saying, like, you have these cravings for these things.
Man, maybe I'm not transparent enough. Maybe that's it. And some of my clients, like, think I just have this, like, iron discipline and will, like I'm Jocko 2.0. Yeah. And, dude, it couldn't be farther from the truth, man. Like,
we all have our weaknesses.
Man. And it's like, don't get me wrong. Okay. Like, I'm getting up at the alarm, but, like, sometimes I snooze. Like, I'm tracking my calories and macronutrients, but sometimes I fall off of it. But it's like... so I think the big thing for me is, like, when you use the words like lean and discipline to describe me just now, like, I think my big thing is, like, man, I haven't been anywhere near perfect, but I've been doing it for like 10 years now. And I'm 24, so that's been like almost half my life that I've been at least somewhat conscious of my health and wellness consistently. So I think it's just
The
I
sum
think
of
it's
the
just
choices.
that. Yeah, man. I think it's just that compounding over time. Like if I were to realistically grade myself, I'd probably give myself like a C- over the last 10 years, man. But I'm just saying, like, because all that time has added up, like, I could have been going 100 miles an hour. Maybe I was going 60, but maybe that 60 was a little bit more consistent, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a good way. Oh,
Look at that. There's the alarm. That's a good wrap up.
that is a good wrap up.
Thank you all for listening. Happy New Year's. Make it a great new year. Be smart when you're setting your resolutions. Start small and build upon it.
Yes.
Again, you can go to progressthroughchange.com to get your free 4 Easy Habits for Fat Loss guide.
It helped me lose over 175 pounds.
Yeah, man. Which is no small feat. And
yeah, talking about those small, consistent changes. If you're looking to lose the fat, then if you just instill those,
yeah,
you'll be off to the races.
Yeah, without getting too deep into it, I mean, to incorporate all 4 habits, maybe like 20 minutes out of your day.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about the workouts too, maybe like half an hour, a couple times a week, depending on how you want to approach it.
A couple times a week, not every day.
Exactly. Anyways, thank you all for listening. This has been Progress Through Change, PTC Cast, episode
19.
19.
Yes, sir.